Hey Shoujo fans, and welcome to this very extra special episode of Shoujo Sundae. We are doing our very first interview ever as podcasters with Kylie McNeill, the voice of Suzu and Belle from the movie Belle. So without further ado, let's dig in.
私の心があらモード baby I'd make you more than happy けどゆっくりしようね brain freeze ご注意できるかな handle me 高すぎカロリー sugar 以上甘い feeling with you next to me baby おかわりね仕上がれ
First of all, thank you so much, Kylie, for joining us on our podcast. We are very happy to have you with us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's dive right into it. So, I just want to set the scene here to start off. So you audition for the role of Suzu/Belle through your agent. And out of 250 submissions, on top of the Belle directing team scouring over the internet, they choose you. How did it feel learning that you got the part, and how did you celebrate that?
Oh my god. It was a great day. I think I remember that I was having a really bad day the time I found out. So when I got the email, I was like, what? And yeah, I was screaming all over the house with my family, and yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's like, what a way to turn your day around. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to actually ask you also, like, what was the first anime that you ever watched?
Oh, I think it was My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh, yeah. We love Ghibli. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Me
big
too.
Ghibli fans here.
Yeah, Spirited
Yeah.
Away is my favorite, I think, of the Ghibli movies, but My Neighbor Totoro was the first one.
Actually, speaking of Spirited Away, did you notice, like, any similarities between Chihiro's story in Spirited Away and Suzu's in Belle?
Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, there's definitely a kind of similar character arc in that they both kind of start out kind of depressed and whiny and kind of have to go on this adventure where they, like, completely change. So maybe that. I also always think of, there's a scene in Belle where Suzu's on the train to go, like, save Kay, and I always think trains, Spirited Away because of that, like, amazing train sequence. So,
Yeah.
the liminal
yeah.
space, traveling in between lives thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we'd love to ask if you actually have, like, a favorite shoujo anime?
Oh.
Show or movie?
I don't. I mean, are there any you recommend?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, especially being a Ghibli fan in particular, I could not recommend Whisper of the Heart to you more.
Okay,
especially, like, you're a very creative, like, passionately creative woman, and the main character in that is a, like, very passionately, like, creative woman. She's a writer. She has all these dreams and ideas, and I could not recommend, and it's an adorable love story. Could not recommend it more.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'll definitely check that out. Cool.
Yeah, you totally should. Getting into the world of Belle a little bit, I'm curious if you have any ideas of what your, like, avatar would look like in the world of you.
Ooh. I think somebody asked me this once and I feel like my answer was bad, but I've thought about it since, and there was actually, like, a character in the script that only has, like a reaction line that they recorded, so it's like they go, huh? So, but it's this, like, sloth that they, in the script, wrote as David Bowie sloth. I don't know why, like, I think it kind of, the facial, like, lines drawn on it looked like something David Bowie might have done with the makeup. So, anyway, I think I would be David Bowie sloth.
I love that so much. That's spectacular.
Yeah. He's so iconic. Like, I could see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. What was the biggest challenge that you faced while tackling the role of Suzu and Belle, with this being your first time in a dubbing studio?
Ooh, my biggest challenge. It might have been, like, self-doubt, honestly. I was really scared and nervous, and I always get like major imposter syndrome, so with this being like, I don't know, the biggest deal thing I've ever been a part of, I was definitely like feeling some of that imposter syndrome. But the dub director was really helpful in making me feel at home and making me feel like I deserved to be working on this. Michael, he was, kind of integral in making me feel like I belonged to, like this role was meant to be played by me, or like I, deserved to be there. So probably my own self-doubt.
That resonates a lot too, I think, with Suzu, because there is a lot of that inner dialogue she had to overcome as well.
Sure, yeah.
Speaking of Suzu and, drawing from personal experiences, did you draw from, like, any specific high school experiences in order to embody what Suzu was feeling at certain points? And if so, would you be comfortable maybe sharing one?
Yeah, sure. In high school, I was definitely pretty shy, and I went to a performing arts high school, so I had to kind of, get up and perform no matter what, no matter how much anxiety I was feeling. But during class, I would, barely talk just because I was, I don't know, super uncomfortable in like social situations. So when I was playing Suzu, I kind of like tried to tap into that feeling of being an outcast, even though I wasn't. I was just quiet. I don't know, but of being like in the back of the class, not wanting to talk, not wanting to participate, being too anxious, because Suzu definitely has that. So yeah, that was helpful in kind of creating her voice, I guess, because she kind of has breaks in her voice, and she's shaky, and she's quiet, and yeah, definitely thought about my high school years.
Yeah. I'm a bit of an introverted performer as well, so I get it where it's like, oh, I can turn it on for the thing, but most other times I'm just like, a little shut off.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask if there are parts of Suzu's life that resonate with the life that you have now, or that you had before you took on the role.
A lot of the things that I guess something I also drew from besides like high school stuff was Suzu had a loss in her life that kind of caused her to turn to music and turn to art to deal with it. And like when I was younger, I lost my abuelo, and he was a singer, so he was a flamenco singer. So I think I kind of, when that happened, I turned to music and I started writing music more. And yeah, so that's a parallel thing, I suppose.
We learned that you are an older sister, and we were wondering if your younger brother has seen Belle and how he might have felt about you being in it, or the film's overall message.
Oh my god, I'm an older sister. Yeah, my brother came with me, and my family and my best friend to see Belle, when it opened in theaters, January 2022, which feels like a very long time ago. I remember him saying, like, the dragon parts were the best, or something like that, and I was like, valid. Okay, sure. Thanks, bro. Yeah, he's been super supportive, and whenever I do like anime conventions, and they're close to where I live, I've been bringing him, so he's been like helping me and being my little bodyguard, because he's like 6'2", like, and he's 13, so
Wow.
He's my bodyguard. Yeah, it's pretty great. I don't have to pay him.
It's fantastic. I also love that his response is just like the most typical younger brother response. Yeah, the dragon's real cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your feelings surrounding the lack of separation between like the internet and the real world that's in Belle?
Hosoda definitely had like a strong message with making the internet so integral. Nowadays with like, everything that has happened within the last few years, it's like internet is amazing, and it's, it brings people together, and we'd all be so lonely without it. But it also shows how dependent people can be on it, and how in turn it can actually be more isolating. And I think Hosoda was able to show that really well. there's like billions of users in you. But he also kind of showed how the internet can be used for good. So it's a tricky like thing to navigate, but I think it's very close to reality. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I really liked that both sides of the negative and the positive that can be found in the internet I feel like it was showcased really well, like very, I lost the word in my head, but it was done very nicely. Yeah. So you mentioned that your family did go to see the movie with you when it opened in theaters. Because of the pandemic and this film being done in the pandemic, were you able to experience like an in-person premiere of the movie?
No, it was so depressing. It was really sad. Yeah, no, it was like nobody was here that I had. The few people I'd worked on the movie with were not here anymore, and it was so sad. No, there was nothing. It was like, well, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Especially as it being like your first, dubbing experience. It's a shame that the pandemic took that from you.
Yeah.
I know. It's okay. Actually, recently I went to OhioCon though, in this convention in Ohio, and we sat in a little room with like computer speakers and like watched the movie.
Oh,
like that was nice.
That's like precious. That's like a much more intimate version too,
Yeah.
without all the bells and whistles.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And we were all crying. It was great.
Oh, that's spectacular. It's actually kind of nice that you got to share it in a unique way together that way.
Yeah.
For the like a casual film question, do you have a favorite moment of the film?
I think there's a couple. I mean, I think when Suzu finally like reveals who she is to the world, that's a pretty like intense. I think Taisei Iwasaki, who wrote the music for that, I think he just like wrote the most perfect, beautiful song for that moment. So probably that.
Yeah, that is a powerful moment. Just like cut to me crying the other night watching the movie.
Same.
Just like wiping my eyes profusely.
And all of the lights showing up in the crowd, I was like, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Where's my Kleenex? This is okay. Wow.
I know. Yeah.
Delving a little bit deeper into like the meaning of the film. I know that Belle was Hosoda's interpretation of Beauty and the Beast in the present day. And something that we love about Belle is the fact that it sort of subverts the expectation of Belle and the Beast having a romantic relationship. In Beauty and the Beast, the movie begins with the witch casting a spell on the prince that changes him into a beast at a young age. But in Belle, Suzu is able to support and save Kei, the child that is the dragon, and Yu, who is in an abusive situation with his little brother. Well, with his little brother Tomo. Do you believe that one of the main takeaways of this film is the importance of coming together as a society or as an individual to save children from devastating situations?
Oh wow! I mean, I'm sure that was. It's totally part of the message. And I think that's also something that people do not walk into this movie thinking they're gonna see. Like, the poster is this, it's a pop star, like in this virtual reality world, it's all cool and, whatever. Like, you don't walk into Belle thinking, oh, I'm gonna walk away going, oh my god, you don't think you're going to see an abusive relationship play out on screen. So I think he kind of used the veil of like this hip movie to really talk about some dark topics that are like necessary to be talked about.
Yeah. I love that this is sort of like the idea of what if, like in Beauty and the Beast, what if the Beast was saved in the very beginning versus having to like go through this pain for such a long period of time, like before like getting help and stuff. So I really love that about like the film and how it just makes it, even though it's similar, it makes it an entirely different experience.
Yeah.
I love the way it subverts expectations in that way. I apologize, my cat started going after my hands at the bottom of the chair.
Oh my god! Do not apologize.
It was very unexpected. So, something I'm so curious about is I'm a big fan of I like a romance story, and I always kind of gravitate towards like the romance side plots and stuff, and kind of see how those are handled and fleshed out and stuff. And I'm really curious about what you think about Suzu never confessing her feelings to Shinobu at the end of the movie.
Oh my god. I think it leaves it open to interpretation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's I think Shinobu finally kind of hints that this is a new chapter in their relationship, friendship, whatever. And I think I'd love her little reaction, her little blushing moment.
Yeah.
So I do love that it's hey, it looks like this might work out. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, it definitely led at least me as a viewer to think that they could possibly be on the path to being together in the future. It's probably a much more carefree chapter of their friendship that they're starting now, which is nice to think about.
Yeah.
Are there any key symbols in the film that you think perfectly encompass Suzu's journey? What Suzu's journey is all about? Could sort of go to, in our podcast, we have a lot of different segments when we're reviewing anime, and one of it is called Sprinkles on Top, where we are basically oh, okay, this particular thing is a motif, and we noticed it and stuff, and we just want to shout it out that we saw it, we highlight it. So yeah, any key symbols?
I mean, the first thing I thought of was there's quite a few shots of big clouds in the distance. Ooh. And I think that could just be literally they just wanted to cut to clouds in the distance. But at the end of the movie, there's kind of a big epic musical swell, and it cuts to a beautiful cloud in the sky and the sunset. And Suzu's always looking out at it when it comes to that. So I wonder if the cloud is kind of symbolizing maybe her mother, looking after her, looking out from above. I don't know. That just came to mind. But there's also that bridge that Suzu crosses multiple times in the movie. And I think that bridge, not only is it above water, which she lost her mother to drowning, but it's also a transitional state, a bridge. So maybe something like that too.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm grasping at straws.
Do you have any advice for people who have watched Belle and are currently grieving a loved one?
Ooh. Wow. I feel like there's a lot of, there's a lot of things I could say. It's okay to move forward with your life, even though they're not there with you. But I think, the message of a million miles away is kind of they're still with you, even if they're not physically present. And when I feel grief, I kind of I've listened to A Million Miles Away, but just for the lyrics, those lyrics really hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay to not be over it. It's not, there's no quick fixes to grieving.
Yeah, something that looks different every day.
Yeah.
I guess also, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from your experience after working on Belle?
It was beautiful to watch such a great collaboration of people. This movie was not made overnight by any means. People were up at crazy hours, making this film come to life. And I think it kind of gave me hope during a time when kind of art is put on the back burner, and it's produce output, no matter the quality or the whatever. This really was an artistic piece, and everyone who worked on it was a genuine artist who genuinely cared about making this story as truthful as possible. So I don't know, it made me believe in art.
Oh, that's good, especially with everything going on in the world and AI stuff coming up. Just we need people to believe in art right now, for certain. Getting into more general acting questions. What's something that you really like about acting? Like, what do you like the most about doing acting?
Ooh, I mean, I guess I like escaping into being somebody else. I'm sure that's like what everybody says, but it's true. There's something
It's so fun to play pretend.
Yeah, it's like it's so freeing. It's so yeah, it's great fun.
I know that you come from a family of entertainers. Do you want to possibly pursue Broadway one day?
Oh, I would love to. That's always been a dream of mine. And I'd love to be in anything as an actor, singer, whatever, performer, but I also want to, like, write my own musical. So I've been,
so cool.
starting to do that, if that ever pans out. Like, I would love to do that as well. But yeah, I love Broadway. I'm actually going to see a show tonight.
What are you seeing?
I'm going to see, I think it's called Once Upon a One More Time, which is a Britney Spears jukebox musical.
Oh,
That's
fun.
amazing. That
I'm
sounds so fun.
excited. Yeah.
I hope you have a great time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you previously noted in a different interview that auditioning for Belle was a long process. Do you have any advice for potential voice actors on how to, like, mitigate your anxiety in the midst of audition? Or also even just advice for aspiring singer-songwriters in general?
Ooh. I think any like time you're trying to break into the entertainment industry, it's a very lonely process. And you really have to, like, believe in yourself and, you know, I hate myself for saying this, but, like, work on your craft. And, like, it's true. And hone your craft. I don't know. But, oh, someone's coming in my room. Hi, bro. Okay. Sorry. It's my brother, my bodyguard is here.
Oh, the bodyguard has arrived.
Yeah. Sorry. No, you're fine. Oh god, I forgot what I was saying. Hone your craft, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you really gotta believe in yourself. You're going to get rejected a million times. I can't even count the times I have been rejected over and over in this industry, and you have to keep going. And it's awful. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it, for sure.
Are you looking to do more voice acting roles in the future? And if you do you see yourself reaching out to, like, Michael or Paul or Jessica for tips and advice?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would love to do voice acting again. I honestly miss it. It was really, really fun. And yeah, Michael's my bestie still. So I do reach out to him for advice. And Paul too. I'm so sorry, I forgot the third person you said. But
Jessica, she
Jessica DeChico.
Hero. Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna get coffee with her in I think it was January or something, but it didn't pan out. But I'm actually gonna visit LA soon, so I'm gonna try to go see her. I'm gonna ask her out for coffee again. So yeah, definitely. I they're all such wonderful people.
It's fantastic that you all keep in touch still.
Yeah. And then they have like so much more like added. Like they've been doing this for like so long and stuff that like I feel that you have a little bit of an edge. I mean, you're also a voice actress now, but it's like, if you need like advice or like, hey, am I doing this voice right? Do you think so? Like, you can instantly like tap into that.
Yeah, they're such great like people and a good like resource. But I don't want to be like, yeah, my resources like yeah, they're all great. And it's crazy because I didn't even get to work with Paul or Jessica like during the film. Like, we kind of got to know each other on the phone more, like, after it was over. COVID. Love it.
Yeah, wild times. Wild times for sure. So, definitely a lighter question. Like, have you ever considered, like, cosplaying as Belle when you perform songs from the film at all? I feel like that'd be so fun.
I'm sure it would be fun. I just, like, I could never do it. Like, I would feel too weird about it. People have, like, been like, you should do that, though. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I should. But, sometimes I joke, like, I used to always want pink hair, and now I feel like I can't get pink hair because it's just like,
Oh no.
I don't know. But I've met so many sweet cosplayers that come up to me as Belle, and I try to take a picture with all of them because they're like gorgeous and amazing and talented. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Switching gears into just talking about singing in music, what do you like most about singing?
I'd say like writing music or expressing things through song kind of just like helps me emotionally, if that makes any sense. Like it kind of feels like a sort of purpose, especially with writing music. There are feelings I would not know how to express if it weren't for music.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also a songwriter, so I can like strongly relate. Yeah, for sure. It's like there's something, if you write music, you understand what the feeling is of, oh, I need to write a song about this, and like only songwriters understand that. It's like a very specific emotion. Yeah. So speaking of songwriting can be such an intimate, unique, and varying process for every musician, songwriter, and singer. Are you comfortable describing at all your creative process when you're writing music?
Sure. I usually write like songs on the guitar. So I will literally just like sit down at the guitar and usually play a melody. And I just like stockpile lyrics in my phone, like on the Notes app. So if I'm like feeling, hey, this vibe might fit these lyrics, I will like try to put them together. It's like doing a puzzle sometimes for me. Sometimes it comes out more naturally where it's like, oh, this makes sense, like all in a package together. But usually I'm like just quilting something.
That's so cool. So, like, when you're playing guitar, are you, like, fretting out a melody, or is it more like chords?
It depends, but it's usually chords.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Music and musical theater has been part of your life for so long, but was there ever a time that you thought you might want to pursue something different?
Oh, yeah. Every day I wonder. Too real. Okay. I think actually, there was a time when I was in high school, I was a musical theater major, and it just got too much for me. 'Cause it was very, intense, constant musical theater, study. And I think I wanted to do, like, the opposite of what, I was supposed to do. So there was a time in there where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I was like, no, I love it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes stepping away from that thing for a little bit to realize that, like, not that you're meant for it or anything, but that's kind of what came to my mind, just that it is what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I've had those moments myself. I'm sure a lot of people listening have had those moments themselves, too.
Yeah.
So, going back to Belle, what song of the Belle soundtrack was the most difficult for you to record, and why?
There were definitely songs that were more technically, like, just vocally difficult to record. Then there were some others that were just emotionally difficult to record. Like, I remember recording You, which is the first song in the movie.
Yeah.
It was like, it's so fast. It was so intense. And the first time I recorded it, I was like, this sounds so bad. Like, I was like, this sounds so... They played it back for me, and I was like, I have to do it again. And I actually did, like, multiple ones of the songs again. Like, I recorded Gales of Song again, because I was super scared, and it was the first song I had recorded, so I was like, you could hear the fear in my voice when they played it back for me, so on the last day I re-recorded that. But emotionally, like, Lend Me Your Voice was, I always dedicate that one to my friend. And weirdly, that was the only song I did in one session.
Wow.
So the emotion was, like, harder to get through, but somehow the song was easier to get through. Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I feel like it's definitely not on the same level as, like, recording a soundtrack. But, like, when we first started our podcast, we were also, like, getting to know each other at the same time. So, like, our first couple episodes, it was just like, oh, it sounds like we're really awkward, and, like, should I say this? Should I not say this? And so then we just ended up re-recording them. So
Yeah.
and putting
Valid.
it out. So it's like, oh, now we sound like we have a rapport down. Like they couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Like so,
That's
yeah.
great. No,
yeah.
you guys are doing amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I know that you also noted in another interview that while singing the reprise for A Million Miles Away, you made composer Ludwig Forssell cry. Did it make you feel more certain about your desire to be a singer? Getting that type of emotion from this legendary composer.
Oh my god, I can't believe I said that in an interview. Sorry, Ludwig. Sorry to call you out. It's on video though. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was so bizarre to make. I remember Michael being like, "You made a room of grown men cry." I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah, that's super validating to make a room of grown men cry. Made me feel great. And yeah, I mean, Ludwig is so talented, such a talented composer. So to make him cry, it wasn't actually the song he wrote. He wrote Gales of Song. But yeah, I mean, super made me feel great. Sorry, Ludwig.
Yeah, not to get too cheesy, but as artists, we want to evoke emotion out of people. So it's when you can make these grown people cry, it's yeah, I did that. It's sorry, but yeah, I did that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know that you're working on original music. I'm curious to know how your original album's coming along.
Oh my god, I'm taking forever. I'm taking way too long.
It's better to do forever than too short.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I actually wrote a song. It was very, very, very late last year, or very early this year, somewhere around then, that I felt wrapped up this concept album that I've been writing for way too long. So yeah, it's a concept album that I'm still trying to make, and I've actually started self-producing some stuff and working with my friend on producing music and stuff. So it's coming along slowly. But it's fully written.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting when you start to see the pieces coming together. It's awesome.
And I perform, I think it's all of the songs. I perform most, if not all of the songs at my live shows. So I do concerts, and I perform that album there, even though it's not available to listen to. I still perform it. Yeah.
Super exclusive live show opportunities for people right now until
sure.
the music comes out.
Yeah, my unreleased little secret stuff, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that for quick content, I work in music. I play at a piano bar.
Oh, cool.
So I know that sometimes what I hear at work will unintentionally affect my songwriting.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just curious if working with all the music in Belle, and even the emotional experience of playing Suzu and what the character goes through, I'm wondering if any of that has shaped your songwriting at all.
Ooh, that is very interesting. I think my style of writing is very different than the Belle music. I'm not sure. I think Belle is it's definitely pop, but it's also it's a musical, so it kind of has musical theater kind of elements just in the insane arcs of the song. And I think my songwriting kind of has similar intense arcs to them. I don't know. Kind of cinematic, I don't know, something like that.
Oh, that's neat.
But I'm not sure if Belle really affected it that much.
Okay.
I kind of wish
that's fine.
that it
I was just
did.
curious. Just really quickly coming off of that, what genre would you classify the music that you write?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I always want to be it's indie rock, cinematic, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's
great.
cinematic pop, something like that.
Okay.
But it's also not very poppy, so I don't really know. I guess we'll find out if I ever figure out how to release stuff.
Right. Or if you have a show ever in Philly, I will be there.
Oh, really?
So that I can, it sounds right up my alley. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to book one recently, so I might be there at some point.
Okay. then so will I.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do also want to ask you about your original music as well. So you have a song called Mad Men that is inspired by The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Are there any other songs on your upcoming album that are inspired by literary classics, or even I guess maybe a song that was inspired by your work with Belle?
Oh my god, I love this question. Yes, there are, I believe, maybe 2 other songs on this album that have to do with books. I wrote this song called Carrie, and I wrote that after I had read this book, A Star is Bored, by Byron Lane. And it's like a fictionalized account kind of based on his time being Carrie Fisher's assistant. And Carrie Fisher's like my lord and savior. Like, I have like shrines to her. Like, it's weird. And I've always loved her. And so I read this book, and then I was meditating one day, and this very simple song came to me, and I just wrote it. And it's very short. So I'm like, it all came to me then. It's very short. But that's based on that book, in the way that it's like he's her assistant and he looks up to her. It's kind of feeling a distance between somebody that you want to communicate with, and it's not working. So it's kind of about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's awesome, and honestly, we're putting it out into the universe that not only will her assistant see this song, but also Billy would see this song.
Oh my god.
I feel like it would be, I mean, it's her mom. I think it would be right up her alley.
I would love that. Actually, the assistant, Byron Lane, saw my post about the song in 2020 or something like that, because I wrote it quite a bit ago, and I recorded just a simple YouTube video singing it, and he saw it, and he reached out to me, and I was like, oh my god! It was great. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It's gonna happen. It's your name's gonna be in lights. You're gonna perform it. You're gonna even go on Kelly Clarkson. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you'll go on the
God.
Kelly Clarkson show, and then you can talk about how she was also part of your journey and stuff, because she you sang because of you for your audition.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That would be great. I would love that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we're speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Of course. So we're gonna wrap things up. We just have pretty much 2 more little questions, and one of them is since we are Shoujo Sundae, we all of our segments are named after, toppings and soft serve and, scoops and stuff like that. We are curious what your favorite flavor of ice cream is.
My favorite flavor, it changes. Right now, I'm so basic. I think probably vanilla. Vanilla with rainbow sprinkles.
That's very Chika.
Yes.
Where can you
very
go wrong?
Yes,
delicious.
I love vanilla.
Oh, it's classic. It's the base for a reason,
Yes.
Vanilla was first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Also, I guess for our last question, I feel like we're going to end up putting this interview out possibly at the end of July, start of August. So are there any projects that you would like to promote or people to look out for?
Ooh, if you're in the New York City area, I will be doing a concert at 54 Below on September 20th. I actually still need to sign the document that says that, but it'll be signed by the end of July. So come see me at 54 Below. It'll be great fun.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be a great early autumn evening for everybody. Yeah. All right. Goodness, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so much fun. It's been great getting to know you tonight, Kylie.
Oh my god.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Shoujo Sundae this week and tuning into our very special episode with Kylie. If you want to hear more from us, do not forget to follow us on your preferred podcast platform. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you can think of, and please leave us a 5-star review. It would help us out a whole lot and bring more shoujo fans to Shoujo Sundae. If you would like to follow us on social media, we are at Shoujo Sundae across all socials. And if you want to keep up with us individually, I am Giana Luna, and you can find me at Giana_Luna_, and that is Giana with 1 N. And what about you, Chika?
You can find me at Chika Supreme everywhere, but particularly IG and Twitter, and that's Chika with a K and not 2 C's. Kylie, where can the people find you?
Oh, at Kylie McNeill on Instagram, there are 3 L's in my last name, because someone else took my name. But everywhere else, I'm just Kylie McNeill, 2 L's at the end.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, guys, we will catch up with you soon with something new. We will see you then.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.